1 in 400 trillion. The miracle of you. How beating the odds should change the way you live forever. Produced by the School of Self-Development. Introduction. The rarest miracle on earth. From nothing to you. The odds you overcame just to be here. Take a deep breath. Now realize that breath, that very inhale, was the outcome of 400 trillion to 1 odds. The fact that you're here, reading or listening to this right now, is a mathematical miracle so massive that it's almost impossible to grasp. And yet, we rarely ever pause to acknowledge it. We worry about bills, traffic, opinions, and problems, all while completely overlooking the miracle that we even exist in the first place. Let's put this into perspective. You are more likely to win the lottery 10 times in your life. Be struck by lightning on your birthday. Become President of the United States by accident, than to be born exactly as you, with your DNA, your timing, your soul, in this specific point in human history, on this exact planet, circling this precise sun, in a universe that has only ever known one of you. The probability of your existence is 1 in 400 trillion. That's a 4 followed by 14 zeros. It's not just rare, it's unimaginable. And yet, we wake up most days as if life owes us something, as if we're entitled to more, as if being alive isn't already the greatest gift we'll ever receive. That's not your fault. Society doesn't teach us to feel how lucky we are. It trains us to chase more, want more, and never feel like we are enough. But here's what this audiobook will do. It will wake you up. Not in a harsh way, but in a deeply personal one. It will shake you gently from the sleepwalk of modern life and remind you of what you are, a walking, breathing miracle. We're going to explore why you're the rarest form of life that could have ever occurred, why that matters more than you think, and how that awareness can completely transform how you experience your relationships, your goals, your gratitude, and your future. This isn't just an audiobook, it's a return to truth, a reset button, a rediscovery of awe. You will learn how to see with fresh eyes, how to replace numbness with wonder, complaints with appreciation, and fear with purpose. Because here's the truth no one ever tells you. You already won. You already beat the odds. You are the jackpot. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Science of Your Existence. How trillions of things had to go right, just for you to exist. Before we talk about the miracle of life in a spiritual or philosophical way, we need to understand just how scientifically improbable your existence is. We often throw around phrases like, life is a gift, or you're one of a kind. But when you break it down mathematically, biologically, and genetically, it becomes clearer than ever that those words aren't just feel-good sayings. They're facts. Let's start at conception. In the moment of your conception, 1 sperm out of approximately 250 million met 1 egg. If even one variable changed, if your parents had waited 5 minutes, if a different sperm reached the egg, or if the egg released was slightly different, you wouldn't be here. Someone else might be, but not you. And that's just biology 101. That one fertilized egg had the perfect mix of DNA, half from your mother, half from your father. And within that combination were millions of possible genetic expressions. If even one gene were flipped, you'd have been born with different traits, a different temperament, or not at all. You are the only you that could have come from that precise moment. The odds go deeper. When scientists try to calculate the odds of a person being born exactly as they are, they consider several factors. The odds of your parents meeting, the odds of them forming a relationship, the odds of them conceiving a child, the odds of that exact sperm and that exact egg meeting, the odds of every generation before them also succeeding in the same miraculous way, all the way back to the beginning of humanity. Every single one of your ancestors, for tens of thousands of years, had to survive wars, diseases, famines, natural disasters, and make the choices that led to your lineage continuing. If one person in that chain had not survived or made a different choice, you would not exist. Biologist Dr. Ali Benazir attempted to calculate the true odds of your existence and estimated it at 1 in 10 to the power of 2,685,000, a number so astronomically large that it makes 400 trillion to 1 seem conservative. That's a 10 followed by 2.6 million zeros. In other words, it is statistically impossible that you exist. And yet, here you are. You are not an accident. You are precision. When you realize how many exact variables had to fall perfectly into place, not just at birth, but through every stage of your ancestral history, it becomes impossible to view life as random. You are not an accident. You are the result of unimaginable precision. The universe did not make a mistake with you. You were born at the exact time, in the exact place, with the exact DNA and life potential that no one else on Earth has or ever will have again. Even identical twins, with 100% matching DNA, are not truly the same. They have different experiences, thoughts, fingerprints, and perspectives. They live differently. They are different. There is no backup copy of you. But why don't we feel special? Most people hear these numbers and shrug. Why? Because we're numb to miracles. We live in a world full of distractions and comparisons. We don't wake up every day thinking, wow, I beat the most impossible odds just by existing. Instead, we say things like, I'm not successful enough. I'm not happy enough. I'm not where I thought I'd be. But here's the truth. You already crossed the hardest threshold you'll ever face, being born. Everything else, wealth, status, opportunity, is built on that one miracle. And the more aware you become of that foundation, the more empowered, grateful, and present your life can become. The shift starts with awareness. As we go deeper into this audiobook, we'll explore how to reconnect with this miracle and why most people ignore it. But let this sink in for now. You are the result of trillions of things going right, and every second you breathe is a continuation of that miracle. It's time to stop treating life like something that just happened to you. It didn't. It chose you. Chapter 2. You're already luckier than any lottery winner. Why the jackpot already happened. And you're living it. Imagine this. You wake up one morning and check your phone. There's a message. Congratulations! You've just won $1.2 billion in the lottery. Claim your prize today. Your heart races. You feel lightheaded. You scream, cry, or collapse. Maybe all three. Because your life, as you know it, just changed forever. Now imagine this. What if I told you that winning the Mega Millions jackpot is still more likely than the odds you've already beaten, just to exist? It sounds impossible, but it's true. The lottery odds versus you. The odds of winning the Mega Millions lottery jackpot are about 1 in 302 million. The odds of being born, as you, are 1 in 400 trillion, and some estimates go far beyond that. That means you are 1.3 million times more likely to win the lottery than to exist. Pause and let that sink in. People dream about the lottery their entire lives, buying tickets, hoping for a miracle, praying for the kind of luck that could change everything. but you've already won a bigger lottery than any jackpot ever offered. You won the right to be, to think, to feel, to dream, to laugh, to cry, to change, to evolve, to love. And yet, because there was no announcement, no confetti, no giant check, you probably didn't celebrate. But make no mistake, you are a lottery winner in the truest, most meaningful sense. The prize you didn't know you had. Winning the life lottery doesn't come with a house in Malibu or a luxury car. It comes with something infinitely more valuable: opportunity. You've been given the chance to experience life through human consciousness, shape your thoughts and actions, influence your destiny, impact others, create something meaningful. No matter where you are in life, rich or poor, young or old, you already own the most valuable prize: existence with awareness. Even the wealthiest billionaire on earth cannot buy more time, more presence, or a new version of life. They're living out the same miracle you are, just in different clothes. But here's the kicker. Most people live like they didn't win. They walk through life like they're owed something more. They forget that this was the greatest prize of all, and in doing so, they waste it. The real secret to gratitude. Let me ask you something. If you won the lottery, wouldn't you wake up every morning grateful? Wouldn't you walk differently, smile differently, treat people better, and feel a constant buzz of, "I can't believe this is my life"? Now here's the truth. You don't need to win the lottery to feel that way. You only need to realize you already did. Gratitude isn't about having everything. It's about realizing what you already have. You don't need millions in the bank. You need millions in perspective. And that's what this audiobook is helping you reclaim. What would change if you believed this? If you truly internalize that you've already won the greatest lottery imaginable, how would you live? Would you be more present with your family? Would you stop waiting to start that dream? Would you finally appreciate your body, your mind, your journey? Most people are so busy chasing more that they forget they've already been given everything they need to begin. Your breath, your thoughts, your consciousness, your story, your chance. That is the prize. Now the question is, what are you going to do with it? Because while the odds of your birth were 1 in 400 trillion, the odds of your regret if you don't live it fully are 100%. Let's keep going. Chapter 3. Why we don't feel lucky. How we became blind to the greatest gift we've ever received. Here's the paradox of being human. We are the luckiest species to ever walk the earth. And yet, we rarely feel lucky. We live in a body that breathes for us, a world filled with beauty and wonder, and a universe that beat all the odds to bring us into existence. And still, many of us walk through life frustrated, empty, or numb. Why? Because modern life has slowly and systematically trained us to forget the miracle of being alive. Let's explore how. 1. The trap of routine. The more familiar something becomes, the more invisible it becomes. You see your hands every day, but rarely stop to marvel at them. You breathe 20,000 times a day, but barely notice it unless you're gasping. You wake up every morning, the single greatest daily gift you'll ever receive, and many of us complain before we even get out of bed. That's what routine does. It blinds us to wonder. And the brain plays along. It's designed for efficiency, not appreciation. Once something becomes part of your normal environment, the brain stops highlighting it. The miracle becomes background noise. 2. Comparison culture. If your existence was the only thing you could measure, you'd feel like a miracle every day. But the moment we start comparing ourselves to others, to their success, their beauty, their lifestyle, we stop feeling grateful and start feeling behind. Social media fuels this. You don't compare your life to someone else's reality. You compare it to their highlight reel, the filtered, curated, edited version of their life. And in doing so, you forget that you've already won something so much greater than likes, followers, or even fame. Your own life. We compare our miracle to someone else's miracle, and suddenly, it feels like less. But the truth is, there is no less when it comes to beating the odds of 1 in 400 trillion. You're not behind. You're alive. 3. We've been conditioned for more, not enough. From the moment we enter society, we're taught to strive. Get better grades. Get a better job. Get a better car. A better house. A better body. Better is the modern gospel. And in the pursuit of better, we've lost our connection to now. We think we'll be grateful when we get there. But the goalpost keeps moving. When gratitude is always tied to achievement, you're never truly grateful. You're just temporarily relieved. And that's not real gratitude. That's conditional happiness. True gratitude comes from seeing that life itself, not what it produces, is enough. 4. The brain is wired for survival, not satisfaction. There's a biological reason we don't walk around in a constant state of bliss. Your brain didn't evolve to make you happy. It evolved to keep you alive. It's always scanning for threats, discomforts, and problems to solve. That's great for staying alive. But it's terrible for staying grateful. Your mind will always default to what's wrong unless you train it to see what's right. It's not your fault if you don't feel lucky. It's your programming. But it is your responsibility to rewire it. And that starts with awareness, which is exactly what you're building as you listen to this audiobook. 5. The someday syndrome. We've been sold the lie that joy, fulfillment, and gratitude are things we'll unlock someday, when we've earned it. But the truth is, there is no someday. There is only now. And now is the miracle. When you defer your appreciation for life, you defer your ability to actually live it. You don't have to wait to feel lucky. You just have to wake up. Reclaiming the feeling. Gratitude isn't something that shows up. It's something you activate. Here's a simple truth. If you can learn to see life through the lens of a miracle, every day becomes extraordinary. Not because it's perfect, but because it's real. Most people don't feel lucky because they don't pause long enough to recognize they are. But you're pausing now. You're realizing. And that realization is the first step in rewriting the story of your life. Chapter 4. Awareness is the gateway. You can't be grateful for what you're not aware of. There's a powerful truth that's often overlooked in the noise of daily life. You can't change what you're not aware of, and you can't appreciate what you don't notice. Awareness is the gateway to everything. Gratitude, joy, meaning, purpose, even peace. Without awareness, life becomes a blur, a cycle of repetition, a sleepwalk through miracles. But with awareness, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Let's explore how. The miracle you walk past every day. The average person wakes up, checks their phone, gets ready for work, eats something, drives somewhere, answers emails, scrolls, and repeats. Most of that happens on autopilot. Not because we're lazy, but because we've never been trained to be aware. We walk past sunsets, trees, strangers, and moments without seeing them. We breathe in air we didn't create. We exist in a body we didn't build. We're powered by a heart we don't control. We live on a planet suspended in infinite space, and we forget. Awareness is the act of remembering. It's the decision to notice, to look deeper, to question, to pause, to see. Awareness turns life into a gift. Try this. Right now, bring your awareness to your breath. Notice the inhale, how it fills your lungs, how your chest expands. Now the exhale, the release, the softening. Just that. Simple, powerful, free. You didn't need money, status, or permission. You just needed awareness. And in that moment, you were present, truly here. Not in the past, not in the future, not chasing or comparing, just alive and aware of it. That's the doorway to everything good in life. The light that reveals the hidden. Awareness is like a flashlight in a dark room. Without it, you bump into things, feel stuck, confused, lost. With it, you see clearly. You move intentionally. You understand your space. In life, awareness reveals the patterns that hold you back, the beauty you've been missing, the people you've taken for granted, the possibilities you haven't considered, the miracle that is your very existence. You can't heal what you're not aware of. You can't change what you don't see. And you can't be grateful for a life you're sleeping through. That's why awareness must come first. How to practice awareness daily. Awareness is not about becoming perfect or enlightened. It's about becoming awake. Here are 5 simple ways to practice it daily. 1. Micro moments of presence. Pause for 30 seconds at random points in your day. Ask, what do I see? What do I feel? What am I experiencing right now? 2. Breath awareness. Anytime you feel overwhelmed or distracted, return to your breath. It brings you home. 3. Gratitude anchors. Pick 3 anchor points, like brushing your teeth, turning on the car, or eating lunch, and use them to remember. I'm alive. I'm lucky to be here. 4. Silent mornings. Start the day with 5 minutes of silence. No phone, no music, no tasks, just awareness. 5. Question everything. Ask yourself, am I reacting or responding? Am I being present or going through the motions? Am I awake to this moment? The answers might surprise you, but they'll also liberate you. Awareness unlocks meaning. Life isn't about achieving more, it's about feeling more. And that only happens through awareness. You don't need to chase your miracle, you need to see it. And once you do, everything changes. Gratitude becomes natural. Joy becomes accessible. Purpose becomes personal. Because now you see, now you know. You're not just alive. You're aware that you're alive. And that's where the real magic begins. Chapter 5. Cultivating Daily Gratitude. The practice that turns every day into a gift. Gratitude isn't something you feel once a year on Thanksgiving. It's a practice, a mindset, a discipline. And when done daily, it has the power to rewire your brain, elevate your energy, and completely transform the way you see life. But here's the truth most people never realize. Gratitude is not about having more. It's about seeing more. And the more you train yourself to see the miracle of your existence, the more life opens up to you. Not because circumstances change, but because you do. The science behind gratitude. This isn't just philosophy, it's neuroscience. Studies show that practicing gratitude increases dopamine and serotonin, your brain's feel-good chemicals, reduces stress and depression, improves sleep, relationships, and immune function, increases resilience and optimism. Why? Because gratitude shifts your focus. Instead of scanning for what's missing, your brain starts scanning for what's present. What's working, what's beautiful, what's right. In a world that trains us to want more, gratitude trains us to love what is. And that's the foundation of a fulfilled life. Gratitude isn't passive, it's powerful. A lot of people confuse gratitude with passivity. They think it means settling. If I'm grateful, does that mean I stop striving? Not at all. Gratitude doesn't stop ambition, it grounds it. It reminds you that you're not striving because you lack worth, but because you're honoring the miracle that you already are. Gratitude turns achievement into expression, not compensation. You're not trying to become enough. You're acting because you already are. That's the shift. A simple morning gratitude ritual. Here's one powerful practice that takes just 5 minutes a day and can change your entire mindset. The 3 G's. Grateful for. Write down one thing you're grateful for right now. Something small, specific, and real. Grounded by. Write one thing that grounds you. Your breath, your body, your purpose, a loved one, or even just this present moment. Growing into. Write one quality or experience you're growing into today. Courage, patience, creativity, etc. By doing this every morning, you're training your mind to see the gift of being alive and live from that place. Everyday opportunities for gratitude. You don't need a journal to be grateful. Gratitude is available everywhere. Here are moments you can transform with just a shift in focus. The shower. Appreciate clean, hot water. Millions don't have it. Your commute. Instead of traffic frustration, feel gratitude for movement, music, or even solitude. Your meals. Every bite is life fuel, a small miracle. Your body. Even if it's not perfect, it's functioning, carrying you through the day. Your breath. Always there, always reliable, always yours. The more you notice, the more grateful you become. And the more grateful you become, the more you notice. It's a beautiful upward spiral. Replacing complaints with gratitude. Want to change your life quickly? Here's a challenge. Every time you catch yourself complaining, stop and find one thing you can be grateful for in that same moment. Example, complaint. Ugh, I have to go to work. Gratitude. I get to go to work. I have income, purpose, and opportunity. Complaint. I'm tired of this routine. Gratitude. My routine means I have stability and structure. Complaint. Nothing exciting is happening. Gratitude. Peace and predictability are a blessing. This isn't about pretending everything's perfect. It's about choosing the lens that empowers you, not the one that imprisons you. Gratitude is a decision. You don't wait to feel grateful. You decide to be grateful. Every single day, life hands you 2 options. Focus on what's missing. Focus on what's present. And the choice you make determines the quality of your life. Gratitude doesn't change your circumstances. It changes you. And when you change, your world begins to shift in response. Remember, you are 1 in 400 trillion. You are not here by chance. And every second you spend in gratitude is a second aligned with the truth of your miracle. Chapter 6. You were chosen to be here. Why you are not an accident, and never have been. You weren't dropped here randomly. You didn't slip through the cracks of the universe and land in this body, in this life, by mistake. No, you were chosen. You were selected by forces greater than biology, chance, or even logic, to be here, right now, alive, breathing, thinking, and reading this very sentence. That's not poetic fluff. That's perspective-shattering truth. 1 in 400 trillion isn't a coincidence. Let's go back to the math. The odds of being born, of your parents meeting, your particular sperm and egg combination fusing, and every ancestor surviving to pass on life, were so astronomically small that the number itself feels fictional. But it happened. Why? Because it was meant to. Because you were meant to. If you believe in God, you might say you were created for a divine reason. If you believe in the universe, you might say your energy was summoned into form. If you believe in science, you might simply marvel at the mind-bending precision of evolution and probability. No matter your worldview, the conclusion is the same. You are not here by accident. You were chosen by life itself. The right time, the right place, the right you. You were born in this exact moment in history, not 1,000 years ago or 1,000 years from now. You were given a unique mind, a specific body, a certain set of strengths, challenges, and perspectives. Nobody else in the entire human timeline has your exact fingerprint, voice, or energy. You are a one-time event in the universe. And when you really feel that, when you let it penetrate your mind and heart, it's impossible not to sense a deeper reason for your being. You are not random. You are relevant. You are here on purpose. Every moment you've lived, from joy to heartbreak, has shaped you. Every challenge you've overcome has refined you. Every conversation, every moment of stillness, every tear and triumph, it's all part of a grander unfolding. The question isn't, was I meant to be here? The question is, now that I'm here, what will I do with it? When you realize you were chosen, everything changes. You stop living like you're a mistake. You stop apologizing for taking up space. You start honoring your time, your talents, and your truth. You start showing up fully. The difference between existing and living. Millions of people exist, but they don't live. They follow routines, meet expectations, avoid risks, numb their pain, delay their dreams. But not you, because now you know, you were chosen. You are not here to merely survive. You are here to awaken, to grow, to stretch, to discover, to create, to love with intensity, to fail with grace, to rise with purpose. You are here to live in such a way that your presence on this planet becomes a gift to yourself and to others. A new kind of responsibility. Being chosen doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It doesn't mean you won't struggle. It simply means you matter. And with that realization comes a beautiful responsibility to stop wasting time, to stop doubting your worth, to stop waiting for someone else to give you permission. You are here. The miracle happened. Now, it's your move. You are the answer to something. You were born into this world for something. Maybe it's to raise a child who changes lives. Maybe it's to create something the world didn't know it needed. Maybe it's to love someone through their darkest hour. Or maybe, just maybe, it's to become aware of your miracle, so you can help others wake up to theirs. But know this, you are the answer to a question that the world didn't know it was asking. You're not a placeholder. You're not a glitch. You're the miracle, walking, breathing, unfolding, chosen. Chapter 7. Stop waiting. Start living. You've already been given the green light. What are you waiting for? There's a dangerous myth that millions of people silently believe, and it sounds like this. I'll start living fully. When? I'll feel fulfilled. After. I'll chase my dream once. Once what? Once you have more money? Once you're less afraid? Once the timing is perfect? But here's the truth no one tells you. There will never be a perfect time. There will never be a version of life with zero uncertainty. And more importantly, you don't need any more proof that you're worthy of living fully. You're already here. That's the only green light you'll ever need. The illusion of later. The biggest dream killer in human history isn't failure, it's delay. Later becomes someday. Someday becomes maybe. Maybe becomes never. We convince ourselves we have time, but every moment we postpone joy, purpose, connection, or growth, we're wasting the only true wealth we'll ever have. Time. Let's be clear. You don't know how long you have. You don't know how many days are left. But you do know that this day, right now, is here, and it deserves to be lived. Why we wait, and why we shouldn't. Most people don't wait because they're lazy. They wait because they're afraid. Afraid of judgment. Afraid of failure. Afraid of being seen or not being good enough. But let me ask you this. What's more terrifying? Trying and falling short? Or reaching the end of your life and realizing you never really tried? You've already overcome the greatest odds known to man. You were born. The odds of failure at anything else pale in comparison. Waiting made sense before you remembered your miracle, before you woke up to the truth of your existence. But now you know better. What does living actually mean? Let's get specific. Living isn't about skydiving or selling everything to travel the world. Living means being awake to your life and acting on what matters. Living means having that hard conversation you've been putting off, starting that business or side project you've dreamed about for years, telling people how you really feel, saying yes to what lights you up and no to what drains you, letting go of the idea that you need permission to be happy. It means stepping out of autopilot and into alignment. And alignment doesn't wait. It acts. The cost of inaction. Every day you don't live intentionally, you are living by default. Every day you postpone your purpose, you are trading time you will never get back. And here's what no one tells you. Not choosing is a choice. And indecision is the slowest form of self-betrayal. But here's the beautiful part. You can shift it all in a single moment. One decision. One change in awareness. One yes to life. Today is the most important day of your life. Why? Because it's the only day you're guaranteed. Not yesterday. That's memory. Not tomorrow. That's imagination. Today is your arena. Your miracle. Your moment. What are you going to do with it? You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to make some grand, dramatic move. But you do need to start. Start something. Start small. Start now. Because when you do, the universe meets you. momentum builds, confidence grows, purpose unfolds, and suddenly, you're not waiting anymore. You're living. Chapter 8. Perspective changes everything. The way you see your life is your life. Two people can live the exact same life, same city, same job, same challenges, and have completely different experiences. Why? Perspective. One person sees obstacles, the other sees opportunity. One sees reasons to quit, the other sees reasons to grow. One sees a hard life, the other sees a rare gift. Your life doesn't need to change for everything to feel different. You just need to see it differently. Let's talk about how to reclaim the power of perspective, the lens that turns existence into appreciation and problems into purpose. Your mind is a filter, not a mirror. Here's something most people never realize. You don't see life as it is. You see it as you are. Your brain is a filter. It constantly takes in information, sorts it, and gives meaning to what you perceive. That's why one person wakes up on a rainy day and says, "This is awful. Now my plans are ruined." And another wakes up and says, "This is beautiful. I get to slow down today. The earth is being nourished." Same weather, different reality. Not because the world changed, but because the lens did. And when you take control of the lens, you take control of the experience. The perspective of the grateful. Let's look at something powerful. The people who have less money, less freedom, less health, but still radiate joy. Ever met someone like that? A person in chronic pain who still smiles with genuine warmth. A refugee with nothing who still says, "I'm just happy to be alive." A janitor who hums joyfully while cleaning the floor. What do they have that others don't? Perspective. They've learned to see what's still here, not just what's missing. They don't ignore their pain, but they choose their focus. And that choice changes everything. Reframing your reality. Reframing is the art of choosing a new lens, one that serves you instead of limiting you. Let's look at a few examples. Old frame. My life is stuck. New frame. I'm in a season of building awareness and clarity. Old frame. I'm behind everyone else. New frame. I'm exactly where I need to be to become who I'm meant to become. Old frame. I've failed too much. New frame. I've learned more than most. I'm still standing, and that's power. Old frame. I wish I had their life. New frame. I've been given my life. A 1 in 400 trillion opportunity. I'll make that count. It's not denial, it's direction. You're not pretending your challenges don't exist. You're just choosing not to hand them the keys to your peace. The gift of gratitude in suffering. Even in pain, perspective is available. Think about the moments in your life where everything went wrong, and somehow you grew. That breakup that made you stronger. That job loss that pushed you toward your passion. That health scare that made you love your body for the first time. You don't have to love the struggle, but if you can find meaning in it, even the smallest meaning, it transforms your relationship with life. Suddenly, even hardship becomes sacred. Begin to see differently. Here's a daily practice to shift your perspective. Every night, ask yourself, what did I miss today because I wasn't looking for it? Then tomorrow, look for it. The kindness in a stranger's eyes. The warmth in your morning coffee. The miracle of your own breath. The fact that you exist at all. Life isn't always easy, but it's always miraculous. You don't need a new life. You need new eyes. Because when you shift your perspective, you don't just change your thoughts. You change your experience. And when you change your experience, you change your life. Chapter 9. Your responsibility to the miracle. You've been given the gift. Now, what will you do with it? You've beaten the odds. You've been handed the most precious prize imaginable. Life. Not just any life. Your life. A one-time event in human history. And with that truth comes something powerful. Something sobering, even. Responsibility. When you recognize that your existence isn't random. When you realize you've already won the greatest lottery in the universe. You can't help but ask, what am I doing with this miracle? The gift demands action. Think of your life like a priceless treasure. If someone handed you $1 billion inheritance, would you bury it in the backyard? Would you ignore it? Or would you use it with intention, with joy, with respect? Your life is worth more than any amount of money. But too many people treat it like something disposable, or worse, forgettable. Not because they're bad, but because they've never been shown how sacred it really is. But now you know. Now you see. And once you do, there's no going back to sleep. Responsibility doesn't mean pressure, it means potential. Don't mistake responsibility for weight or guilt. It's not about being perfect or doing everything right. It's about realizing you're a custodian of something divine. You were given this body, this breath, this awareness, and now you get to decide what you'll do with it. Will you complain about your circumstances? Compare yourself to others? Stay small to make others comfortable? Or will you show up with courage? Use your story to inspire others? Turn your pain into purpose, your time into meaning. That's not pressure. That's freedom. The world needs you fully alive. There's something only you can give, a truth only you can speak, a perspective only you've lived, a difference only you can make. And that's not wishful thinking. That's the ripple effect of human potential. When you live with gratitude, awareness, and courage, you give others permission to do the same. You become a lighthouse. And in a world where so many people feel lost, confused, or numb, that matters more than you know. Responsibility is built, one choice at a time. You don't have to change the world in one day. You don't need a grand mission statement or a perfect plan. You just need to make one decision, to treat your life like the miracle it is. And then, do it again, and again, and again. Wake up with purpose. Speak with kindness. Take the risk. Say the truth. Forgive. Breathe deeply. Love harder. Let go of what doesn't serve your miracle. Small choices, made daily, change everything. You've been chosen. Now, choose back. Life chose you. It reached into the impossible and brought you into reality. The least you can do is choose it back. Say yes to it. Not someday, not later. Not once you figure it out. Now, say yes to the gift. Say yes to the miracle. Say yes to you. Because the greatest tragedy isn't death. It's a life that was never lived. Chapter 10. The Power of One Life. Yours. You are not small. You are the starting point of change. One voice, one spark, one action. One life. That's all it takes to start a ripple. You may think your life is too small to matter, that you're just one person in a world of billions. But let me remind you of something sacred. Every forest begins with one seed. Every movement begins with one decision. Every miracle begins with one life, lived fully. And this life is yours. You're already creating ripples. Whether you realize it or not, your life is leaving a trail. Your words, your energy, your kindness, your courage, your pain. It all echoes outward. When you smile at a stranger, you shift their day. When you chase a dream, you give others permission to believe in theirs. When you rise from pain, you show others what's possible. When you live with gratitude, you invite others to see the gift of life too. You don't need a stage. You don't need millions of followers. You need to live with presence and intention. That's where your power begins. Your existence is evidence of purpose. The odds said you shouldn't be here. The math said it was impossible. But the miracle showed up anyway, and it showed up as you. There is no wasted life. There is no forgotten soul. And there is no substitute for what you bring to this world. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to be real. You have to show up. You don't need to be the best, just the truest. We live in a world obsessed with performance. Who's the most successful? Who's the smartest? Who's the most attractive? Who's the most followed? But you weren't born to outshine others. You were born to be yourself, without apology. Your power doesn't come from comparison. It comes from authenticity. The world doesn't need 1,000,000 copies of the same story. It needs your voice, your truth, your journey. Be a torch, not a trophy. Don't live to be admired, live to be useful. Be the torch that lights someone's path. Be the hand that lifts someone from their darkness. Be the reminder that it's okay to feel, to fall, to rise again. You don't need to change millions of lives. If you change one, yours, the rest will follow. The legacy of the aware. What kind of legacy do you want to leave? Not in terms of fame or fortune, but in feeling. How do you want people to feel after they've encountered you? More alive, more loved, more inspired, more seen. Because that's the power of one aware human. When you live as if your life matters, other people start to believe that theirs does too. Final reminder. Let's bring this all home. You are 1 in 400 trillion. You are not an accident. You are not a coincidence. You are proof that the impossible is possible. You don't need more time. You don't need permission. You just need to decide. I will honor this miracle by how I live. I will treat my life like the one-time gift that it is. And I will never again forget how rare, sacred, and powerful I already am. You've made it this far, not by luck, but by purpose. Now go live like it, because your life is the most beautiful thing the universe has ever created, and it's not done yet. Conclusion. Live like it mattered, because it does. The miracle was never the odds. It was you realizing them. Let's return to where we started. The odds of your birth, 1 in 400 trillion. A number so staggeringly small, it's hard to grasp. But this audiobook wasn't about the number. It was about the awareness. Awareness that you're not just a body, not just a name, not just another face in the crowd. You are a once-and-forever phenomenon, a spark of life that beat impossible odds. The miracle wasn't just being born. It was remembering that you were, and choosing to live accordingly. You don't need another reason to believe in your worth. You don't need another sign to start. This was it. The door is open. The door to your most intentional, meaningful, and aware life is wide open now. The question is, will you walk through it? Will you treat your life like it matters? Honor your time as sacred. Choose love over fear, action over delay, and gratitude over resentment? The choice is yours. It always has been. And if this audiobook has done its job, you now understand that every single moment is a second chance, a moment to return to the truth. You are the miracle. You are the gift. You are the answer to odds that said you shouldn't even be here. But you are. So live like it, and never forget it again.